Good morning, everybody. I'm Franco Fontana, Vice President of Cooperativa Insieme, who is hosting you. I'm proud and also emotional to start these important works. I know you just visited Olympic Theatre. We wanted to start this work, this job with art, with the UNESCO heritage, this city full of masterpieces. Every single activity, like Cooperativa Insieme, is just one piece of the painting, but in the majority, all of them they can create a masterpiece, and that's the job we are doing today. So we have the chance to create a masterpiece with Europe and with the surface. So I'm giving a speech to Marina Formazier, which is the president of Cooperativa Insieme. That she will be the moderator of this opening of the meeting. Thank you, everybody. A good job. Thank you, Franco. I'm only here to give the word to people following me, like Christian Lerasberger for ATM as the leader in the project, who is presenting the overview about the European project and the focus on the countries who are using smart use parks. After that, we will present the situation of surface in Vicenza. I'll give the word to all the members of the advisory board in Vicenza, so like the engineer Casolino for IMV Ambiente, which is the municipality of Vicenza company that manages waste, and to Legambiente, they will contribute to this job. The third member of the advisory board is the city of Vicenza, the municipality, that we already seen this morning, Engineer Zoppello, in the city hall. So thank you. And at the end of the presentation, the last overview for reuse, there will be Lana Zukova. She's also a partner of the project. She will give us a presentation with all the activities of reuse in the project. Thank you, and now I give the word to Chris. And again, I will thank you for the support of organization of this meeting.
Grazie, Marina. Buongiorno and good morning also from my side. I will stand up for my presentation as I feel more comfortable this way. Let me thank all of you for coming. Hello to all the project partners, the many advisory board members I can see in the audience, also representing the advisory board member from Insieme, Mr. Casolini. And yeah, I think it's a great moment today. We can celebrate. It's a unique moment as we can launch the first smart reuse park today here in Vicenza. And it's really a pleasure for me as lead partner of this project, as we started 1.5 years ago with the project, and we were talking about smart reuse parks. So even for us it was challenging what is a smart reuse park, or what could be a smart reuse park, and also working through this project. But now let me introduce this Central European project. As you can see, and as you know, the name of the project is Surface, Smart Urban Reuse Flagship Alliances in Central Europe. And this Central Europe is also the program, the Interreg Central Europe program, where our partnership is funded from. So depending on the country, 80 or 85% of our budget is funded, and the rest of the budget will be covered from national co-financing or from the partners itself. So we have in total 10 partners from 9 countries, and the project started in July 2017, and we have still 15 months to go. On this figure you see our partnership located in the Central European region, coming from Poland, Hungary, Croatia, Slovenia, 2 partners from Italy, then from Germany and from Austria and from Czech Republic. Quite a big range, a variety of where the partners are coming from. Is it either from waste management or from socio-economic enterprises, even authorities and also research institutes. But if you count correctly, we have here only 9 partners in Central Europe, but I told you we have 10, and the last, or the final partner is also the Central European project, and we're very happy to have also the umbrella organization of this social economic enterprises, REUs, with us on board. And Jana is representing REUs today and will also give a short introduction about this organization. So, what is the overall goal of our project? As you can see, the aim was and is still to set up multi-stakeholder-based smart reuse parks. Why do we want to do this? And why is reuse in our mind so important? Because through reuse we can prolong the product lifetime via repair and reuse activities, and this has an advantage and positive effects on all 3 pillars of sustainability. So we affect the economy by creation of jobs or fostering the regional added value. But we also attract the ecological side of the sustainability by, of course, preventing waste, and through the prolongation of the product lifetime we even can use energy and resources more efficiently. And finally, also the social effects by giving people a chance on the labor market who are somehow disadvantaged. So all in all, in our mind, in my mind, reuse is a perfect chance for sustainability and also for fostering a sustainable lifestyle. So, as I mentioned several times, the word reuse park or smart reuse park. And within our partnership we put a lot of thinking also in this term. What is a smart reuse park? And as you can see, we define it as a flexible and modular combination of reuse-oriented services. Within a former project that was called Interreg, it was in the last program period, we were talking about reuse centers and networks. So there we tried to get out reusable goods from waste streams, prepare it for reuse and sell it. Now the new and innovative approach within Surface is to even extend these services to all the activities that are reuse oriented, and there again you find, of course, reuse collection, preparation for reuse and selling reuse goods, but we also have included repair cafes, repair upcycling workshops, renting goods, swapping platforms, fabrication labs and so on. So all in all, services that are fostering the prolongation of the product life. And then we were also saying, okay, these services should take care, should be located in a visible and a livable urban area. So we want to, in our partnership with these 10 partners, we want to establish or set up 5 smart reuse parks. The first one will be launched today, but we even have 4 further smart reuse parks that will be launched hopefully soon. And then the other partners will carry out a feasibility study to set up a smart reuse park in future. Then we also work on regional action plans. We establish trainings for the actors in the smart reuse park. And finally, as the time is running, we also want to use our know-how, our gained know-how, to give it to other functional urban areas or cities by twinning programs. So here you find the list on the pilot cities and pilot areas where we want to set up a smart reuse park. The final one in Vicenza will be presented afterwards. But I also want to give you a short insight in the other 4 reuse parks. The first one, where I'm coming from, is located in Tyrol, in Austria. As our company, the Waste Management Association in Mid-Tyrol, works in 2 districts, in Innsbruck, Land and Schwarz. And then we have a good cooperation partner in the city of Innsbruck. And together with this second waste management utility, we try to set up a smart reuse park that covers the whole area of where we operating. And we try to create a platform to link all the already available actors in the field of repair and reuse together, so make them also visible for the citizens. And finally, we as waste management company, we also want to establish a continuous possibility on our waste recycling centers to give reusable goods. This is the situation in Innsbruck in Austria. Then a further and very advanced situation we can face in Germany and in Kempten. Our partner from ZAC is also here. And they have a slightly different approach. They have also, like we in Tyrol, a bigger area, a functional urban area surrounding Kempten. And they have 3, or they want to create 3 smart reuse parks within this area, so that also the citizens can approach all these single sites. And here you see the figure, the photo of the planned smart reuse park in Sonthofen. It is connected to this waste recycling center, and here in this building, in this center, all these activities of repair and reuse will take part. The next one, also driven from the waste management, is in Hungary, in Budapest, where the cooperation partner is AFKF. And also there they plan to introduce a certain number of services together with Vicenza, our project partner. Like here they want to introduce an IT infrastructure, the collection and the reuse of waste electronic and equipment, introduce library of things and other services. And the last smart reuse park from my side is in Toruń in Poland. They follow the approach that here is not very visible here in the city center of Toruń. In these sites of the European Center of Youth Cooperation, they want to create this smart reuse park, mainly driven by socio-economic or social enterprises, and they also want to introduce all these smart reuse park services. So Thank you once again also to Insieme for this great preparation of the meeting, also to your staff for hosting here, and now I give the floor to Marina again for introducing the Smart Reuse Park of Vicenza.
So, we copied the slogan of reuse, attractive, convenient and inclusive, and now I remember that I have to speak Italian, so
We decided to speak in Italian for all the Italian guests for what concerning Vicenza. So welcome everybody in one of the part of our Smart Use Park, because for sure Cooperativa Insieme we already had structures and plans. What we did, thanks to Surface, is to enlarge, develop, and better use, and a great work of a connection with the stakeholder of the city. Okay, willing to receive the new European law of waste treatment. So, a small presentation of Cooperativa Insieme. Existing from 1979, our motto, our slogan is "We turn waste into a resource." It's a social cooperative and a non-profit organization. We are proud of this, and we are proud that you can see today and the following days to work in our building, also our employees and also people with disadvantages. We wanted to show you this painting because it's a painting of our main gate done in 1991. And for us, it is a smart use park. Only today, thanks to Europe and thanks to Interreg project, we can officialize the smart use park and to enhance them the way we thought them. So we wanted to show you the picture of the original painting. So a brief presentation. 1979, we are about 70 members and about 80 people with disadvantage. So these numbers are per year. We have about 30 volunteers from Italy and from Europe, and two environmental and social missions. They have always been connected one another, and we believe they need to be this way. Last numbers. This picture was taken in our preparation of reuse center in Grisignano, that maybe we may have the chance tomorrow to visit, if we have time, if we can work in times. There we work about 700 tons a year of good and waste, of what 93% is reused. These numbers are quite high because what enters in our facility is already selected. So all the personnel that works in the waste collection, they already know, they are trained about what to collect and what is good for use and sell. We work in 12 waste collection centers. We provide about 4,000 cleaning services a year. We have 2 reuse and preparing for use centers and 4 retail and wholesale shops. We are arriving from the Prisca project, which is a pilot project that I am Vicenza used to be a
che ci ha
partner back to the
permesso di
time that led
intercettare
us
flussi
collecting
molto grandi
large
di
flux of
rifiuti
waste,
urbani
urban waste,
e di procedurizzare le operazioni di
and
preparazione e
to
riutilizzo.
create a
Per la
procedure
prima
of
volta in
reuse
Italia
and recycle
autorizzate,
for the
lo
first
dico
time
sempre, ma ci crediamo
authorized in
davvero,
Italy. So
grazie a una rete di
we
soggetti
believe that
vicentini
thank
molto
you a
coraggiosi
network
in un
of
contesto italiano dove
people
ancora
from
non c'è una
Vicenza,
normativa precisa sulla preparazione e riutilizzo. Quindi molto
we
prima della
arrived to this
direttiva
long
del
time
pacchetto
before
dell'economia circolare,
all the
già qualcuno
laws
ha lavorato
about waste
insieme
from Europe.
per procedurizzare la preparazione e il riutilizzo e creare dei centri autorizzati. Da Prisca siamo
From
arrivati a
Prisca, we
Surface,
arrived to Surface.
quindi la prima parte,
So
il
the
primo
first
progetto è
part, the first
stato
project
l'hardware
was the
e
hardware
l'industrializzazione
and
di un
industrialization
processo.
of a process.
Con
With
Surface vogliamo
Surface, we
creare
want to
invece
create
qualcosa di più
something more
ehm, software,
software,
creare
to create a
combinazioni flessibili
combination
ma armonizzate di
flexible but
collaborazione con
harmonized
tutti gli stakeholder. Quindi mettere insieme strutture
of all the
fisiche
stakeholders. So
ma
combining
anche
physical structures
strategie
but
ambientali
also
per la prevenzione dei rifiuti
environmental
nella
strategies
provincia
for
di
reducing
Vicenza.
waste in the province of Vicenza.
Quindi ci piacciono le mappe
So we love maps.
e Interreg, Europa centrale, Nord Italia
So we
dove
are Central
siamo.
Europe, North Italy.
Questa è la nostra
This is
FUA,
our
è la
FUA,
provincia di
it's the province
Vicenza
of Vicenza,
e noi siamo
and
qui.
we are here in our building.
La
The
provincia
province
è una delle province più ricche in
is one of
Italia,
the richest provinces
è
in
una delle
Italy,
più frammentate
is one of the
a livello
more
di gestione dei
divided
rifiuti.
and
Forse i colori non
fragmented
sono del
in
tutto aggiornati,
waste
ma vedete
treatment.
che ci sono
Maybe
insomma
the
più di
colors are not up
10
to date, but you can see there are more than
aziende che
10
gestiscono i
companies
rifiuti, con i
managing
relativi
waste,
appalti, con le relative cooperative sociali
with
o
all
aziende
the
che
social
gestiscono
cooperative
i
or other
rifiuti
business
per
taking care of
loro,
wasteful in their stands,
con una serie anche di procedure
with
leggermente diverse di zona in
many
zona, di area in
procedures
area.
slightly different according to the area
Il
of
rosso
operation.
è Vicenza, la città di
The red part
Vicenza,
in the
dove
middle is the
lavora
city of
IM
Vicenza, where
Ambiente,
IM
gestisce i
works,
rifiuti,
where
è il
IM
nostro principale
managed the
stakeholder.
waste, which is our principal stakeholder.
Le altre municipalizzate
Other
con cui
companies we
lavoriamo
work
sono
with
queste tre:
are
Soraris, Agnocampo
Soraris,
Ambiente e
Agnocampo
Alto
Ambiente,
Vicentino
Alto Vicentino
Ambiente.
Ambiente.
Grazie a Surface
Thanks to
abbiamo
Surface, we
analizzato la nostra
analyze our
situazione per guardare
situation
cosa fare, per
to
capire
see
cosa fare in
what we are
futuro.
going to do in the future.
Vedete questo
So you
spider
can see this spider
diagram
diagram
che secondo noi dice
that,
chiaramente la
in our
situazione
opinion,
vicentina, la racconta
clearly
bene,
states the
dove
situation in Vicenza.
sono buoni i
So
presupposti socio-economici, c'è un grande
there is a
potenziale per
lot
gli
of
smart use
potential for use
park,
smart
c'è una
use park.
domanda
There
di
is a lot of
usato
requests for used
e c'è
goods,
una fornitura di
and
usato
also
perché è
there
una
is a
città molto
good
ricca
collection of used goods
e c'è
because it's
molta
a rich
attività
city.
del privato o del
So
privato sociale. Manca
there is a
quasi
huge activity
completamente il
from
sussidio pubblico
companies, but we are
e
lacking
se non
of
grazie
public
alla
funds.
compensato in parte alla lungimiranza di alcuni gestori di rifiuti
So
che
only
sono
few
innovativi
waste
negli appalti
treatment
che pubblicano e
companies
inseriscano in anticipo
have
rispetto ai tempi
participated
delle
and this,
migliorie legate al riutilizzo e alla preparazione e al
will
riutilizzo.
introduce some
Altrimenti
innovation in
quello che
waste
vedete, le
treatment.
strutture che vi abbiamo presentato, sarebbero
Without these
autosufficienti in
partners, all
termini
the
di
structures we present
costi e
to you
ricavi.
would have been self-sufficient to
Gli stakeholder di
themselves.
Vicenza sono questi:
These are all the stakeholders in
consulenti
Vicenza,
ambientali,
all the environmental
Cooperativa Insieme, i
consultants,
soci Cooperativa
so Cooperativa
Insieme, le
Insieme,
aziende di gestione
all the
rifiuti,
companies of waste
i comuni, le
treatment,
istituzioni
the cities,
e
municipal
molti altri, i soggetti
councils,
svantaggiati con cui lavoriamo, che
all the
sono a
people with
Vicenza
disadvantage
secondo
that we
noi
work with,
molto più avanzati di un cittadino normodotato in molti casi
that
sul
in many
tema della
cases the people with
riduzione dei
disadvantages
rifiuti e della
are way better
consapevolezza
people
ambientale.
in awareness of environmental trouble than
I
regular people.
Le bolle arancioni sono i
Orange
fronti su cui stiamo
rounds, orange
cercando di
are
lavorare per implementare lo Smart
all
Reuse
the
Park, anche
topics
in
we are
prospettiva
trying to
agricoltura,
work
quindi
on to
Vicenza, la
develop the
Regione,
smart use
il
park. So
Ministero
Vicenza,
per il
the
livello
region, the
nazionale
minister in Italy
Bruxelles,
and
grazie
Brussels.
al reuse di cui siamo membri. Le municipalizzate e Legambiente
Yes, this is
sono
Legambiente
i
and all
membri
the other
dell'advisory
companies
board insieme al
who
Comune
are
di Vicenza.
members of the advisory board with Vicenza.
Questa è la nostra idea di
This
Smart
is
Use
our
Park,
idea
che
of
quindi
Smart Use
ripete un po'
Park,
quello che ha detto Christian prima,
which is basically repeats what Christian said
una
before.
rete di strutture,
So a
servizi,
network of structural
relazioni tra
services and
imprese
relationship between
sociali,
social enterprises,
aziende
public
private,
sector, private
associazioni,
companies,
settore
associations,
pubblico,
citizenship,
cittadinanza, per la riduzione dei
to
rifiuti attraverso il riuso,
reduce waste
preparazione e riciclo,
through
che secondo
optimization
noi è strettamente
and
connesso
recycling,
a riuso e preparazione e riutilizzo.
which is
Solo se sono
linked to
connessi
recycling and
si
preparation.
aumenta e massimizza il risultato per il riuso e per la preparazione e riutilizzo.
So best results are not given only when these things
Durante
are connected to each
Surface
other.
è stata pubblicata la direttiva, Surface l'ha
So
anticipata
Surface has anticipated
e
the
adesso
European
quello che proviamo a
law
fare
and
forti
directive
di
by
una
the Europe.
direttiva è tradurre Surface accordingly, in linea alla direttiva.
Yes, so now we want to translate
Come
Surface
abbiamo detto
according to
all'inizio,
the
noi
European
crediamo
directive. So
davvero
as we
in
said
un
in the
rapporto
beginning, we
forte tra le
strongly
cooperative
believe
sociali
in a strong
il settore
cooperation
pubblico
between
nella
social
gestione dei
cooperative
rifiuti.
and
Voi sapete c'è il parallelo
we,
semplice
yes, there is a
che è
easy
facile da
parallel
capire tra
and easy to
rifiuti di
understand
persone e rifiuti cose
between
e per
waste
noi
and
l'approccio è
things,
lo
waste and
stesso.
people. And for us, our
Cura e
approach is the same.
attenzione li trasformano in risorse.
So
È una
attention
pinnata
and
che
care
crediamo debba
transforms in
continuare.
goods. So and we believe that this needs to continue.
Quindi gerarchia dei rifiuti
So waste hierarchy,
insieme si colloca tra il primo e il secondo gradino,
Cooperativa Insieme is between the first and second step.
collegato col riciclo. Quello che pensiamo sia necessario
What we
fare
think
sia
is necessary to
coordinare
do
tutti
is
i
to
gradini fino
coordinate
alla
all the steps
discarica
of this
in
pyramid,
termini di
from
prezzi
the
dei
prevention to the
materiali.
disposal. Talking
L'approccio
about
dovrebbe essere
prices,
olistico per
materials,
massimizzare la
and how the
prevenzione.
approach should be holistic to maximize the production.
Presento le azioni pilota dello Smart Reuse Park.
Now I introduce the pilot action of the Smart Use Park.
Come vi dicevo
As I
prima,
said before,
tanti gruppi di
a
lavoro,
lot of
tanti
work groups, a
incontri,
lot of
tante tavole
meetings, a
rotonde
lot of talking boards
che sono davvero sostenute da
that
Surface,
are really
perché altrimenti
sustained by
appunto
Surface,
il mercato dell'usato
because
non è più così
the
florido,
market of used
va
good is not as good
parallelamente
as
al
it was in
mercato
the
del
past.
nuovo, quindi i prezzi del nuovo sono
So all the
ridotti e
price of
quindi
new
l'usato
goods
non è
are
più
reduced, so
così
used goods
interessante
is
come
not
una
so
volta,
interesting
vale
like it was in
molto
the past,
meno
it's really
non
cheaper
paga i costi.
and it's hard to cope with expenses.
Progetti come questo ci
Projects
aiutano
like
a
this
fare
will help
ricerca e
us to
sviluppo e a ragionare in
research and development.
prospettiva. Quindi Surface ci sta
So
aiutando a
Surface is
fare gruppi di
helping us
lavoro con le
to
autorità e
work
le
with the
agenzie
authorities
ambientali
and
locali e
environmentally
nazionali.
agencies, local and nationally.
Dall'altra parte
On
ci
the other side,
sono altri
there are
stakeholder, la
other
cittadinanza, le
stakeholders,
aziende private, le associazioni, le scuole,
citizenship,
per
private
cui
companies,
organizziamo
associations,
una
schools,
serie di
etc.
workshop,
So we
dopo vedrete
organize
i
many
numeri,
workshops. You can see the
quindi
numbers
l'approccio è
afterwards.
sempre olistico.
So our approach is
E
holistic.
non abbiamo ancora formalizzato la rete locale di soggetti
We haven't formalized
coinvolti in
yet
attività di riuso,
the local
preparazione e
network of
riutilizzo,
subjects engaged in use
riparazione,
and repair,
e c'è però a livello informale.
but these
Quindi
things exist in an
da un anno e
informal
mezzo a questa
level.
parte sono
So
aumentati
since
a dismisura
last year, these
gli
things have, all the
incontri, le
meetings and
collaborazioni con
collaboration have
soggetti e
improved a
con
lot,
diversi target group e con diversi soggetti,
with
freelance,
many new
associazioni anche
and
culturali,
different
abbiamo
stakeholders,
spaziato molto. Quindi la
freelancers, private
rete
companies, associations.
ufficiosamente c'è, non è ancora
So
formalizzata con
our network
accordi. Questo
already
è da
exists,
capire
but not
anche
officially.
rispetto al contesto e all'approccio culturale della città, insomma quanto gli
And
accordi
this must be
siano
understood in
necessari o
the
possano essere insomma
cultural
più flessibili o
life of
informali.
the city of Vicenza.
Reper Café
Repair Cafe
è una delle attività
is one of the
previste dallo
activity
Smart Reuse Park, lo stiamo
that we will
attivando in forma
activate for
stabile,
the
fino ad
Smart Use
oggi
Park.
è
Up today,
avvenuto
it happened
estemporaneamente
just
e
in
in
temporary
isolato, sia in
exhibitions,
spazi di Cooperativa Insieme
in our
che fuori
building
Cooperativa
and also
Insieme.
outside our buildings.
Abbiamo un bar, lo
We have a bar,
visiterete
we're gonna visit it
più tardi nel giro
later when we're
della
gonna visit
sede.
the headquarters.
Laboratori
We have
con i
laboratories
ragazzi dove possibile, spesso
where possible,
e dove possibile con l'azienda che gestisce i
and
rifiuti,
also where possible
perché
with the
entrambi riceviamo
municipality
molte richieste
building
dalle
of Vicenza,
scuole
because we have
e a
many
volte
requests
insomma
for
la
schools for
collaborazione è
labs,
utile
and collaboration
per
is
dare un pacchetto
useful
completo agli studenti.
to give all the information to the students.
Mostre,
Exhibitions,
tantissime, sono mostre
we do a lot,
mercato che però
many
per noi
monster
hanno un senso
exhibitions
culturale, un
and market.
sensibilizzazione. È vero che
That
si vende,
because
ma
it's
è
true that
vero
we
che
sell
più
things, but the
il
main aspect
pubblico
for us
raggiungono,
is
più
to
si
reach
diffonde l'idea del
as
riuso
many
e del riuso come una
public as possible,
quotidianità.
as many visitors.
In corso ancora da sviluppare l'idea di
Is
collaborare
still
molto di più con le aziende
developing the idea
private
of collaboration
che
with
anche solo
private
per
companies
la responsabilità sociale di impresa dovranno approcciarsi a temi sociali e ambientali sempre di
that are
più,
going
oppure
to
l'idea di
cope and
partenariati o
face
collaborazioni diverse
social
dagli
and
appalti o dagli
similar
appalti in senso stretto con le
topics and
aziende pubbliche,
problems with as long with public
dove
business.
raccogliamo tutti i nostri
Where do we
extra
collect all the
rifiuti che
waste
diventano beni,
that will be
possibilmente
goods?
tramite le donazioni.
So
Questa è una delle
mostly
attività
from
principali
donations.
dello Smart Reuse
This is
Park.
one of the principal activities of a smart use park.
Una tra le più innovative attività
Another
è la
innovative
creazione di
activity is
aree
the
di raccolta
creation
dei
of reuse and
rifiuti
preparation
non
collection
beni,
areas
per la preparazione e
in
il
waste
riutilizzo negli
collection centers.
ecocentri. Non la facciamo in tutti gli ecocentri che gestiamo, che sono 12, la
We do
facciamo in
not
alcuni
perform
e
this
i
action
primi
in
sono stati
all
quelli con AIM
the
Ambiente, anche grazie insomma
facilities
a
we
questa,
manage,
quindi a
but
questa
we are starting from
sinergia e
3-4 of them.
lungimiranza. Sono aree in cui i cittadini vengono
In these
abituati
areas, the
a
citizens are
conferire quasi come se fosse un
invited
materiale un
to
bene potenzialmente riutilizzabile e dove
deposit
il personale è molto
all their waste
informato e sa
like
cosa
it
si
already
vende.
was a
Noi diciamo sempre
reusable
che fino
good.
a che non è venduto, quello è ancora
We
rifiuto,
used to say that
perché se,
until it's
se non
not
riesce a
sold, it's
regalarlo e
still
non riesce a
waste.
venderlo, vuol dire che è un
So
rifiuto.
we
Quindi il
try to teach this
personale
to the
filtra
citizen.
molto
If you
bene
cannot give it
l'ingresso
as a
dei
present or to
materiali.
sell it, is waste.
E la terza strada, gli
The third
sgomberi
way
e
is
la
clearing
raccolta dei
services
rifiuti,
and bulky
sempre in
waste stone
convenzione con i
collection.
comuni o le
It's a
municipalizzate,
service we do with the
che
city of Vicenza.
vorremmo uniformare e ampliare il più possibile a
We would
livello
like
di
to
provincia,
enhance
perché
and
ora
enlarge these
accade solo in
services
alcune
in all the
città e
area
alcuni
of the
comuni
promise,
della
because up
provincia.
to date is happening only in a few towns.
Questi sono i centri di preparazione e
These are the
riutilizzo che avete
preparations for
visto. Uno
use
è
centers.
questo, è un
One is this
impianto
one where we are
di
now.
trattamento
This
rifiuti
is
e
a
autorizzato alla preparazione
waste
e
treatment
riutilizzo e
plant,
uno è a
and
10
another
minuti da
one
qui,
is a 10-minute drive
ed
from
è
here,
questo,
the one you see in the picture,
dove convergono tutti i rifiuti che
where
raccogliamo,
all the waste we collect
anche le
are
donazioni.
stored,
Quindi per noi che abbiamo una
even
struttura
donation.
basata sulla gestione del rifiuto è più semplice
So for us it's
trattare anche i
easier to
beni
treat
come
also
rifiuti
goods
perché
like
abbiamo
waste,
la copertura massima in termini etici, ambientali
because it's the best
e
benefit talking
non
about
economici.
environmental,
Questa è la parte carente e si vedeva
not
dal
in
diagramma
economic way.
prima.
You
Questo
could have
costa
seen in
molto,
the diagram
ma
before.
assicura tutti i fini che perseguiamo. Una tracciabilità, una quantificazione
These help
piuttosto
us
precisa dei
quantifying and
materiali e
counting all
anche dei
the
flussi
materials
di
and all the
vendita, di
fluxes
smaltimento e
of
riciclo.
recycling, selling.
Tutto poi arriva nei negozi.
Everything arrives to our shops.
Attività marginale ma che teniamo aperta è quella
Another
dell'online,
activity that we
che è
perform
molto
is the
dispendiosa
online
e
selling,
molto
that which is
complessa da
quite
seguire,
expensive
ma
and
dove vale
complex
la
to
pena, la
follow.
utilizziamo, questo più nell'ottica di intercettazione di pubblico
Thinking about
diverso da quello che frequenta i negozi, più
advertising
che
and
veramente
being
economica.
visible as we perform the online selling.
E quindi soprattutto grazie a Surface,
So thanks
veramente
to
da un anno e
Surface,
mezzo abbiamo
in this
aumentato
last
tutte le
1
nostre
year and a half,
attività.
we enlarged
L'anno
all
scorso
our
circa
activities.
150 eventi
Last year we
pubblici,
had
circa
150
2000
events,
studenti
2,000
incontrati, i
students met
social
here.
sono stati potenziati
We have 7,000
e
Facebook
anche
fans.
il
We
nostro ufficio
enhanced
di
all the social
comunicazione.
medias.
80.000 euro su 3 milioni di fatturato
80,000
annuale
euros
circa.
invested in communication in 3
Vado
million
veloce perché penso
euros
che sia
earned last
scadendo il
year.
mio tempo.
Okay, I'm going to be
Avete
fast because
capito
my time
tutto
is
quello che
coming to an
amplifica
end.
il lavoro che
So maybe you
facciamo
understand
viene fatto.
everything
Quindi le
that
visite
can
e
enhance
eventi.
and to enlarge our work
Eventi di
is
tutti i
done.
tipi,
So
culturali,
exhibition,
ambientali,
events
sociali.
of any kind,
Questa
social,
sala conferenze
cultural. So
ospita
this meeting
quanti più
room
eventi possibile.
hosts as many events as possible.
Anche questo è innovativo, per noi
This
gli
is innovative for
ecocentri
us. The
sono al
waste collection
centro
facilities are
di tutta l'attività di
pivotal
riuso,
of all
preparazione e
the activity
riutilizzo.
of
Non crediamo nell'idea di
reuse and
separare
recycling.
la parte di
We don't
riciclo
want
dalla
to
parte di
separate the
riuso.
recycling
Secondo
from the
noi sono
part of
fortemente
reuse.
connesse
We believe they are
e
strongly connected,
l'ecocentro è il luogo principale in
and
cui i
the
cittadini
collection
vanno,
centers is the
gratis
principal
e con
place all the
merce.
citizens
Dico
can
sempre
go
che ogni
free,
azienda pagherebbe per avere questo, persone
and we believe
gratis e
that
con merce.
any
E
company would
quindi, dove
pay to
possibile,
have people
dove
coming
troviamo
freely
anche
to
l'azienda
leave
che
goods.
lo permette e che ci crede, facciamo eventi, feste,
So that's why we like to perform
fuoco.
events, fire, and parties.
E quindi questa è la conclusione. Secondo noi lo
So this
Smart
is the
Use Park
conclusion.
non
For
è
us, the Smart
un'attività
Use Park is not
specifica,
just a
è
specific
sicuramente
activity.
specializzata, ma
Surely
deve
it is
essere
specialized,
parte della
but
vita della città,
must
deve
be part
diventare
of a city life.
normalità,
Should
consuetudine,
believe a normal
in
activity.
ottica circolare, e la direttiva ci aiuta. I prossimi
And the
anni, se
European
sono bravi,
Directive help us,
saranno fruttuosi in questo
and we
senso.
are sure the next year
E
will be
ringraziano i miei colleghi,
proficient for
quindi
us.
vedete
So thank you
alcuni,
for all the
anch'io
co-workers in Cooperativa
ringrazio
Insieme. You can see some of
l'equipe
them in the picture.
Surface che è
I would like to thank all
miniaturizzata
the Surface
e che ha
equipe
fatto gran parte del
here
lavoro per oggi
in
e
the
anche
room.
segue Surface quotidianamente, e tutti i soci di Cooperativa
So
Insieme.
thank you to all the members of Cooperativa Insieme.
E parlo ancora, e do la parola
Okay, speak again.
adesso al nostro
I will leave the
advisory
word
board.
to our advisory
I
board,
membri, vi dicevo, sono Comune di Vicenza, che ha già parlato
like the
questa
Comune di
mattina,
Vicenza already.
scusa Solerio, e l'ingegner Casolin per IM Ambiente, e a seguire alcune parole di Adriano Vernot, che riveste anche il ruolo di Presidente di Lega Ambiente. Tra il pubblico però ci sono i referenti dell'advisory board, per cui Giovanni Bozzo per IM Ambiente, Chiara Oliveri per il Comune di Vicenza e Gaetano Callegaro per Lega Ambiente. E oggi parlano i referenti istituzionali, però appunto ognuno ha il suo poi contatto più operativo. E quindi la parola all'ingegnere.
Okay, listen to all the stakeholders, starting from engineer. Well, thank you everybody, welcome to the city of Vicenza. A special thanks to Cooperativa Insieme for this important moment, for this opportunity they gave us. With Cooperativa Insieme we have a long-term relationship, and we perform many activities, both on managing collection centers and both to collection of urban bulk waste, activities of training in schools, and there is a strong synergy between the two cycles. Talking about the collection and treatment of waste in the city of Vicenza. So talking about the graphic of a pyramid, of a reuse pyramid, talking about the lower part. So talking about this institutional cycle, and for what concerns to Cooperativa Insieme, that they are working in reuse and recycling. So there are two areas that are complementary each other and necessary one another, because they complete each other and they create the circular economy that we believe we already started about 10 years ago. Now, in order to give you, our guests, the dimension of the city of Vicenza and to explain the activity of Cooperativa Insieme in the system of managing waste, I'm going to give you some numbers of the system.
dicevo, vi do alcuni riferimenti per inserire l'attività fatta con Cooperativa Insieme
I'm
nel
going to give you
sistema
some
di
numbers
gestione della città di
to
Vicenza.
make you
Allora,
understand the activity of Cooperativa Insieme of the city of Vicenza.
allora, un inquadramento territoriale della città. La
So the
città di
territorial
Vicenza
framework.
fa circa
Okay,
112.000
in East Vicenza
abitanti.
we have
Si conto
112,000 resident inhabitants, about
62.000 utenze,
62,000
di cui
users,
54.000 domestiche,
of which 54 very
7.700
domestic
non
and more
domestiche,
than
consumo
7,000
culturale,
non-domestic.
attività commerciali,
So it's like
artigianali,
business,
servizi.
artisans, services,
All'interno
bureaus.
del quale però abbiamo
We
nel
also have
territorio
in
di
our
della città di
territory
Vicenza 8 caserme
8 barracks
e 2 basi
and 2
militari,
military bases.
in particolare sono basi militari americane.
Yes, they are American
La
army bases.
produzione complessiva della città è intorno ai
The
70.000
production
metri
of
quadrati.
waste a year is 70,000
Ecco, il
tons.
sistema che abbiamo adottato a
The system
Vicenza
we
fa
adopted here in
riferimento,
Vicenza
considera
considers
alcuni fattori
the
che sono
following factors.
determinanti nella scelta del modello di gestione adottato, perché
Why are these
riteniamo che il modello
important?
di gestione vada calato sulla realtà specifica del
Because the
territorio,
model of
perché non c'è un sistema, non si capisce
management,
a priori che
the,
possa
there
essere
is not
migliorato o
one
migliore, ma deve essere
management
calato nel
system which
sistema.
is perfect
In
for everybody, so
particolare,
we need to
questi
create
sono
our
i
own.
fattori che abbiamo considerato. La compatibilità col contesto
So
urbanistico.
the first one is the
La nostra
compatibility with the
città
urban
è
context.
caratterizzata da aree esterne a bassa densità abitativa, con residenzialità stabile,
We have
con
a lot of areas with few inhabitants
classi
here.
proprietà, con
We have
relazioni anche tra i residenti stabili, e aree,
we have
in particolare quelle
areas
più
with
centrali,
people living
dove
there
abbiamo
since a long
densità
time,
alta,
and other
relazioni
areas where
stabili, caratterizzate
there
da un
are
forte
a lot of
turnover,
density of
persone
people
che entrano
and a lot of
e escono
turnover of
in
people, so
accompagnate dalla
people
sera,
moving
quindi
in and out
poche
the
relazioni
city,
anche
and so
interpersonali,
few
quindi abbastanza rigide.
interpersonal relationships.
C'è un secondo fattore che abbiamo
The
considerato,
other
che è il fattore
factor
di
is the control of
produttività,
the productivity
perché
factor,
connesso al principio della gestione ambientale va coniugato sempre anche con l'aspetto economico,
which is
perché
strongly connected to the
dobbiamo sempre
economical aspect,
considerare che tutto il
because
sistema poi si
we need
riflette sulla
to
tassa che si
remind
applica
that
agli
all the
cittadini, e
system
quindi sul carico economico che poi si mette
will
sulle utenze e sulle famiglie.
exactly we go to the
Un
tax
terzo
paid for the
fattore che
people
abbiamo
from the citizens of
considerato
Vicenza.
è
The third factor is the
l'adattamento ai
adoption of
fattori
organization factors,
dell'organizzazione interna anche industriale, e in particolare l'organizzazione del
in
lavoro.
particular how the
Mi
work is
riferisco in
organized.
particolare
I'm
agli
talking
aspetti della
about
salute e
the
sicurezza
aspect
sul
of
lavoro
health
e
and
alla mobilità
safety
sanitaria, che
on
purtroppo
work.
in attività anche di raccolta dei rifiuti diventano sempre più
So we
importanti,
care about
al patrimonio aziendale,
movement of
alle strutture
heavy
e ai mezzi
weights,
impiegati.
about
Da
the
ultimo, ma
vehicles
non è
used and
l'ultimo,
structures. But last but
anche
not
la
least,
capacità
the
di imporre
ability of
delle
impose
regole
rules
e soprattutto di
and
farle
most of all
rispettare.
to enforce them.
Sistemi come quello del porta a porta sono sistemi molto
The system
efficaci da
of
un certo punto di
door-to-door
vista
waste
come rete
collection are really
collettiva,
effective,
però richiedono una
but
fortissima collaborazione
they
da parte degli
require a
utenti, e
strong
quindi anche la
and
necessità di
huge
seguire certe
collaboration by the inhabitants of the city of Vicenza.
regole. Quindi questo si è tradotto in un modello che fa riferimento sicuramente alla metodologia della porta a porta e comunque ai principi
So all of this
del
came to
porta a
the model
porta,
of the
che
door-to-door
è
collection of
applicato in
waste,
maniera
which is applied
classica nella parte
in a
esterna
classic
della città,
way on the
ma
outside of the
è
city,
integrato soprattutto nelle zone dove c'è
and
alta
it is
densità
embedded in the
abitativa,
areas where
con
there
i
are
sistemi di prossimità che
the majority of inhabitants of
attraverso
Vicenza.
forme di controllo degli accessi, ancorché siano strutture multiservizi, ci consentono comunque di adottare quei principi caratterizzanti il sistema porta a porta, ovvero
So
il
what is
coinvolgimento
important
e
for
la
the door-to-door
responsabilizzazione
collection?
del
To give
singolo
responsibilities
utente, che viene
and the
identificato
chance of an access to
attraverso
every
il sistema
single
dell'accesso
citizens,
ai contenitori, l'impostazione di un elevato grado di raccolta differenziata, il controllo dell'accesso ai
and
sistemi di raccolta e soprattutto, anche in vista futura, la possibilità di introdurre sistemi di tariffazione puntuale per andare verso la
we would like to
responsabilizzazione
introduce in the
in
future
termini
the
economici
chance
di
to
città delle capacità.
improve the system
Qui
of
vedete la città di
paying and
Vicenza,
to
prima vi ho fatto vedere
collecting the trash. But this is the area in which the city of Vicenza is divided with two zones, the external area and the internal area. So in the external area there is a medium to low population density. On the other hand, in the internal area there is a high housing density. Consequently, the systems are different. So there are door-to-door in the outside part of the city. This system it's performed giving to the people these trucks given to every user, and every user, every citizen, they take care of their own trash bins, and we collect them weekly, 3 or 4 weeks a month. In the internal area of Vicenza, the normal trash bin, maybe you had the chance to see on the road coming here, is provided of a control structure with an electronic door, trap door on the front, that let us introduce in the trash bin only the specific trash bags in the right dimension, so it's about 20 liters each. So our system, and this is important, is enhanced for 4 trash disposal facilities. So 3 of them managed by Cooperativa Insieme, the other one managed by another social cooperative. And we also have a collection center called Ecomobile, which is truck based, and they go around the city and we collect specific waste, like electronic waste and dangerous waste like batteries, neon lights, small electronic appliances, and so on. So these are the results we had in the last years. All the results they saw the contribution of Cooperativa Insieme and the collection centers, and in our collection centers more than 90% of what we collect comes out as differentiated, separated trash or good for resales. This system let us reducing, and we started in 2010 with a good amount of recycling. There was about the 45%, and we improved these numbers from 40,000 tons to 20,000 tons of waste. So the actual date of separate collection brought us to 74.7% of trash separated. So we are in the second place in Italy for reduction. This is what we have done until here, until today. Now we are going to face the second part of this project with the project surface. So now we created the network of the door-to-door collection, and now we have to improve the reduction of waste through reuse and reuse and recycling. And the second aspect we want to work on is to improve the quality of the door-to-door collection and the separate collection, because we don't want a separate collection just to create numbers, we want to be a method to create new materials and reduce the waste. So if you have any question, please, or I don't know, any other stuff, please be free to ask.
Adriano for Legambiente. Legambiente is an environmental association at a local and national level, and thank you, Adriano, for your contribution.
Grazie a voi.
Thank you for coming. Talking Italian for reasons. So Vicenza is the chance to be in a territory where we already apply a change from the linear economy to the circular economy. Our association is a volunteer-based association, a national company. We have more than 1,000 headquarters in Italy. The headquarters in Vicenza has been working from many years with the citizens to teach how to reduce the waste we produce. In the last years, we heard about the fact we don't have a planet B, we don't have B territories. We are occupying all our areas, and we do that by producing a huge amount of waste. Obviously, we work a lot about recycling in the last years as an association. We tried to work with all the other realities working already in the city, trying to teach and convince people, the citizens, that recycling will save the planet. When we understood that the European community was starting to consider seriously the idea of reducing the waste to zero, we eventually were in the same situation with a lot of many other realities. So what at the first instance was impossible is now happening. And in Vicenza is happening since many years. So that's why it was natural for us to work with Cooperativa Insieme, which is working in this field since 1979. So in the last years, we started to work with our volunteers, trying to reach as many citizens, young people, old people, teaching them the importance of the value of reuse. On the other hand, giving our structures available to the citizens. In the last years, we organized huge festivals in the city, talking about environmental matters. And the last year, we were managing a building, allowing people to arrange meetings and labs about recycling, like the repair cafes we already said before. So I would like to thank again Cooperativa Insieme to brought Legambiente in this meeting, because we have a European vision for this topic. And Cooperativa allowed us to reach many other realities that would be difficult without the surface project. So what we'll do in the future is to enhance the networks started more than 40 years ago by my organization.
Grazie Adriano. The last word to Jana for reuse. We are a member of reuse, and this connection with them, and through reuse and surface we are doing great things in the last months. So we thank Christian and Jana in representation of the two realities. So grazie Jana.
Hello. I'll stand up as well. Good morning. My name is Jana. I believe most of you already know me, but I'm here on behalf of Reuse. We are a partner in the Surface project, and I will shortly introduce our organization today. And I will also mention the new waste legislation, which Marina was talking about, and present a good example from our network on how public authorities can support development of reuse. So, So Reuse is the European network of social enterprises active in reuse, repair and recycling. At the moment we have 25 members in 27 countries. In European countries, one of them is in United States. And Reuse represents individual social enterprises such as Insieme, but also regional or national networks of social enterprises which are present in other countries in Europe. And what our members do is that they work directly on the ground. They have reuse operations. They collect used items, they sort them, repair them, clean, refurbish, upcycle, and sell them in their second-hand shops. And as a network, we also share a social objective, or our members share a social objective, because with these activities, they manage to create jobs for people who have different types of problems. They have problems finding a job on the regular job market, so they help them integrate them back and help them to develop new skills. Why do they work in reuse? You can see here in this infographic that reuse out of all the waste treatment operation has by far the highest potential to create jobs. Per 10,000 tons of used goods, you can create 1 job in incineration, 6 in landfill, 36 in recycling, but almost 300 in reuse. This is a few figures on the impact of our network and our members. In 2017, our members diverted 1 million tons of materials from landfill through reuse, repair and recycling. And through these activities, they engaged 160,000 individuals, including employees, volunteers and trainees. Okay. So how do we work as a network? Reuse is based in Brussels, and this is where me and my colleague come from. And our main aim is to make sure that the European policy, which is being created in Brussels, is supportive of reuse activities and also social enterprise. So we work a lot with the European institutions, we advocate towards them, and we try to share the needs of our members who are having the reuse activities directly on the ground. We also work a lot with our network, with our members across Europe, and we are trying to make sure that they have space where they can share good practices, where they can exchange experience, both on practice but also on policy. And we are involved in a couple of European projects such as service. In 2017, we were very happy to welcome Insieme to the network. And since then, we had a great exchange. As Marina mentioned, Insieme is a great example of a member who is very active in sharing, but also at local, regional and national level to really use the opportunity to have a conversation with the authorities and try to develop something together, a policy which would be supporting reuse. As a secretariat, we work on different policy topics. We work on the waste legislation, on eco-design, public procurement or taxation. And today I just want to say a few words about the new waste legislation, which just came into force last year. So since 2015, when there was the first proposal of the new waste directive by the European Commission, Reuse as a network has been in continuous dialogue with the European Commission, with the Parliament and with the Member States. And we were trying to propose some measures which would help develop reuse in Europe and the role of social enterprise in the circular economy. The new directive has been adopted in July 2018, and now it's a very important time because the member states have 2 years to implement the legislation, to transpose it to their national laws until July 2020. And this is an opportunity for all of us and for our members to advocate to the national governments to talk to them and make sure that the transposition of the directive to the national legislation will be supporting your activities. We have some good ideas what we would like to see. We can see the details in our analysis of the directive, but I just mentioned a couple of them. First of all, we were pushing for a separate target for preparing for reuse. Now, you probably know that we have a target for recycling and preparing for reuse, which is combined. In the directive, the target is not there, but there is an obligation for countries to measure and to report on how much they prepare for reuse. And this can be a first step towards setting a separate target in the future. And some countries in Europe already have set a target, for instance Spain or Belgium. Why do we think it's a good idea or it's an important thing? Because a lot of our members also, as Insieme, they source the reusable goods from the waste stream. And they can only do so because there is a good cooperation with the partners who treat waste. But it is very difficult, or it can be very difficult if there is no legislation in place which would make this obligatory. So the separate target should support creation of such partnerships and also try to change the collection room and the way how we handle waste, because it's very important to keep the potential for reuse already when we collect waste. And last but not least, the more reuse we have, the more jobs we create, and the targets which are existent, they also have very strong links to social enterprise. And the member states already, although the obligation is not there to have a separate target, they can still do so, and they can be inspired by the member states who did it. Furthermore, in the directive, there is support for access to reusable goods for the reuse operators, which is a very important thing. It's one of the biggest barriers for developing reuse, that the reuse centers cannot access items which already entered the waste stream. The directive supports use of economic instruments to truly implement the waste hierarchy, which we just saw in the pyramid. For example, also supports local authorities to put in place some economic measures or to financially support implementing of the waste hierarchy. And lastly, it specifically mentions the role of social enterprises in waste management, which is a big success, I would say, for our network. And now I want to present two examples. We were asked to present an example of public authorities supporting social enterprise in developing reuse. So we will stay in Belgium. Maybe you've already heard of this network, but it's good to refresh your memory. So the Kringwinkel is a network of social enterprises running reuse centers all across the region of Flanders in Belgium, which is the northern region of Belgium. The whole region is covered by the reuse centers. There is some 150 selling points. The network is engaging over 5,000 people. And Flanders has a target of 5 kilograms per capita reused annually, which has been already reached, and now they are heading towards a target of 7 kilograms per capita in 2022. In the 1990s, there was 5 reuse centers in Flanders, and they were basically not known at policy level. Today, it's one of the most impressive examples in Europe, and I believe if you ask any person living in Flanders, they would tell you what is the Kringwinkel. They will know the shops. And how is this possible? So the important part of developing the reuse centers was that the social employment policy was aligned with the environmental policy. So on the one hand, there were subsidies going towards providing work integration positions to workers distant from the labor market, and at the same time, the reuse centers were given a specific role in the waste management policies of the region. And this alignment and recognition that reuse is important environmentally but also on the social side has contributed greatly towards developing what we know now. Also, the public waste agency OVAM in Flanders, they have supported not only the development of the reuse centers by giving specific subsidies, but also development of a federation of the reuse centers, who is today a member of reuse. And the federation was very important for the reuse centers to be able to professionalize and to reach a certain level of quality of the operations, but also to be as a platform or communication body towards the authorities. And lastly, the local authorities or municipalities have also a very important role because they compensate the reuse centers for the services which they provide, which means the services of waste prevention and collection of waste. The second example is still in Belgium. It's the city of Antwerp, and it's an example of good way how to implement public procurement. So the city of Antwerp wanted to put a tender on collection of textiles in the whole city. The problem with the textile collection was that it was intransparent, there was a lot of illegal collection, and they wanted to put it all under one umbrella. But what is interesting that in the tender, the price was not the main criteria. The criteria was sustainability and local engagement. So one of the points of the tender was that the applicants should have local impact. They should engage local communities, and they should also have positive environmental impact, and also reuse locally as much as possible. And 5 social organizations, which you can see at the bottom, including the Kringwinkel or Oxfam, which you might know, responded to the tender as a consortium. And now they're running the system in the whole city under one. They have one communication. It's very transparent to the citizens and easy to understand, and it's a great success, which some of our members would love to replicate. This was everything from me. I just want to thank Insieme for hosting us, and I would invite you all. I know that we have also some public authorities in the room from different countries, so I think I would like to stress this. Talking to the reuse operators and developing something together makes a great sense. We could see it also with the Triska project, which was greatly supported by local authorities and allowed Insieme to overcome one of the barriers, which was extracting things from the waste stream. And you can find more about reuse on our website or social media. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. We keep on being in advance, on time, incredibly. So next we will have a trip on a site visit of our headquarters. So we will divide you into groups. But if we need 5 minutes more for questions or clarifications, you are welcome to do. And we are here to answer.
Paolo, sono Paolo da Reuse e volevo chiedere.
I would like to ask specifically to Marina and maybe to the engineer Casolin. We were talking about local subsidies received from the authorities for our activity of trash collection and preparation reuse. So, what are specifically in the details.
ma non li abbiamo per l'attività
So we don't have any
ambientale, li
for the
abbiamo
environmental
quasi come
activities.
indregio per l'attività di inserimento
We
lavorativo
have
in
some
conto
aids
cooperativa
from the social
sociale.
services we
È
provide
vero
for
però
unemployed people,
che la scelta di scrivere appalti con le clausole riservate alle
but
cooperative sociali non è scontata, non è data.
okay, so we have the chance to
E questo è quello che accade con quasi tutte le municipalizzate con cui lavoriamo, in particolare con AIAM Ambiente.
So what happens while working with IEM
Quella è
Vicenza, with
una
the
sorta di
municipalities of Vicenza,
supporto
is the fact that there is
e
a
l'altro
reserved
supporto è la
treatment for
messa a
social cooperatives,
disposizione di
and the other support
spazi e
is
strategie
the
comuni,
chance to
per
use
cui
areas and
per
strategies,
ora
common
diciamo
strategies, common
che
areas
non
with the
veniamo
municipalities of Vicenza.
finanziati per quello che recuperiamo,
So
ad esempio nelle
you have
aree di
no
preparazione al
economical
riutilizzo,
aid
anche se
for
potrebbe essere nel
reuse
futuro,
and
non lo
collection centers.
sappiamo,
Maybe it can be done in the
però
future. We don't know
intanto non è
yet.
scontata la capacità di dire si può
But
fare e si fa,
now is not. We
e di
cannot
permettere
take
di
for
inserirlo come
granted the
miglioria in
fact
un
that think we want to
appalto
do something, we can do
e di
something.
strutturare di conseguenza tutte le collaborazioni. È chiaro che c'è un
It's
approccio
clear
proprio
that it is a
diverso
different approach
e poi appunto in ogni stato è
in
diverso
every
anche il
country.
rapporto tra il settore pubblico e la cooperazione
As well, like in
sociale.
every
Di
country,
sicuro a
there is a different
Vicenza
relationship between
c'è
social
un
workers
rapporto
and
proficuo
the
e in
the
alcuni
country
casi,
itself. So in
visto
many
che non
cases in
lavoriamo con tutte le
Vicenza,
municipalizzate e non con tutte
there are proficient
avvengono le stesse cose.
collaborations
Con alcune sì,
with
e questo mi
many
permette intanto di
authorities,
fare
not of all
progetti
of
che
them, but
operano
many.
insieme, insomma, che non è
This
così
allows us
scontato, e di non avere un mero
to carry on
rapporto
a
di
European project,
prestazione di servizio,
and it's not
ma
just
quasi
a
coprogettazione,
business
che non era
relationship. So
permessa
it's
dalla
something a bit more.
normativa, adesso lo è, e questo sarebbe bello, insomma, che si concretizzasse. E poi ci sono formule, non so, ingegnere, magari
Eventually,
mi spiega lei, di
there are
collaborazione
collaboration
atipiche,
forms
nel senso non,
that
non
are
così diffuse.
atypical because,
La gestione dei materiali, ad esempio, in
like
una delle
managing
discipline che nominava l'ingegner
materials
Casolin prima, che è la
in the
principale di
collection centers,
Vicenza,
like the
Cooperativa Insieme
biggest one in
gestisce
Vicenza, Cooperativa
alcuni
Insieme
materiali,
manages
quindi li
all the
vende o paga
materials,
per,
so we can
insomma,
sell or pay for
per
the
riciclavi o per
treatment of
smaltimenti,
some
però c'è un
materials.
sistema di remunerazione particolare, magari lo spiega lei,
So there
ingegnere.
is a specific way
Sì,
of
perché come
paying.
dicevo prima dovevamo trovare sempre l'equilibrio tra
So as we said before,
e risorse
we
economiche
need to find
e
a balance between
amministrazione.
environment and
Quindi
economics.
noi abbiamo nell'impostazione del nostro
So
servizio abbiamo una
in
cosa
our
adeguata verso
services,
cooperative
we
sociali
care
e in
about
questo
the social
senso
cooperatives
strutturiamo
like Cooperativa
i
Insieme,
contratti d'appalto e la
and
gestione dei
this way
rifiuti dando
we
massimo
plan
risguardo
our budget
alla, e
carrying
questo consente anche la normativa regionale, alla
according
riforma
with
della
the
cooperativa
regional
sociale,
law.
quindi valutare attraverso
We
dei
care
costi
about the social
complessivi
inclusion
le attività che loro fanno. Dal punto
with
di
all the
vista poi
activities that Cooperativa
strettamente
Insieme
economico,
brings on.
siccome
Talking about economics,
la gestione degli ecocentri
all the
noi la
management of the
valorizziamo
collection
anche in
centers
rapporto
is
alla capacità
valorized
di
according
separare i
to the
rifiuti,
ability of
perché
waste
la
separation.
formula di compenso economico la gestiamo in una formula binomia, una parte del compenso è
Okay,
dato sul
because
quantitativo trattato,
our
l'altra
earnings
parte
are
del
made from
compenso
all the waste
è dato
treated
sulla
and
partita di ciò che
collected,
loro
and the other way, and the
recuperano
other end,
o direttamente o
our
anche
earnings comes from all the
sussidiariamente.
materials that
Quindi
are
questo
collected
recupero
and
materiale
brought to reuse
loro
and
poi
recycle.
portano fuori del
So all the
ciclo che sta
materials
gestione dei
that comes
rifiuti,
from
noi
to
con questo
trash
lo
to
riconosciamo come
reuse
recuperato e
for
quindi
us
questo
is
diventa
an
un
earning in our
riconoscimento.
budget.
Questo è quello che riusciamo a
This
fare
is what
perché questo
we
è
can afford to do
comunque
right
in
now.
termini economici della gestione, come dicevo prima, in Italia
So as
la
Marina said
gestione
before,
economica delle società di
in
gestione dei
Italy
rifiuti è
the
basata su
economical
questo.
management
Non
of
abbiamo
the
neanche noi altre
waste
contribuzioni di costa statali,
companies,
per cui bisogna trovare un equilibrio.
they
Questo
support
equilibrio che abbiamo
themselves
trovato, ripeto, non è facile.
with no country-based
Siamo usciti
money.
leggermente da una stretta visione anche speculativa sulla forza lavoro, valorizziamo l'attività che loro
So we try to give an important part to the work the Cooperativa Sociale do.
Se non ci sono altre domande, e allora grazie a tutti. Grazie.
Da bi se ti bil, to so mlajši ala
diese Vereinbarungen.
The offices, they are small for us because this building has been built 12 years ago.
Buongiorno, welcome.
And this space is a new one because the business for the treatment of the waste from private companies and in a flexible way because every month something changes, the fashion change. So the people working in the collection centers
La filiera completa, capite bene che da 20 anni a sta parte è in forte crisi. Il problema è della qualità, sempre più bassa. Hygienic and commercial and food laws have been very hard.